know, Venetia's cuties, So I was thinking to myself, and people were saying, if you don't buy a car, then you don't have that much bills to be paying, right? So I was like, that's a good thing, right? But then I was like, I need a car because I don't think I can use someone else's car, right? So I was like, I want to get a car, but then I was like, what kind of car I want to get, Before I wanted like a Jaguar, or I think it was a Jaguar or I was gonna say container. Like how you can drive a container. I don't know. Maybe you can. If you just stick some wheels in it and stuff like that. You could totally make a little car from that, I think I can make a little tiny car for my turtle, But then I was like, you know what? Maybe give me a skateboard for my turtle, right? Okay, back to the story, right? So I was like, maybe I'll give me a Jaguar or uh a Audi. It was one of them two, right? But then I was like, what if something goes wrong, right? What if the engine need to be fixed or something like that? They told me that if you get like a expensive car, right, then it's gonna be a lot of money to be paying it for, right? Like if your engine don't work, right, they say it's more money for expensive car than a cheap car, right? So I was like, you know what? It makes no sense. Let's get a cheap car, as long as it works, right? No, I'm not going to a sketchy person to get my car from, or not like my sister, right? So I was like, you know what? Let's get any kind of car would be manageable, I'm that kind of person who's like really chillax, I go with the flow. Like, what I mean, like, go with the flow, I'm really happy with anything I have at this moment, in my life. Before I wasn't, So now I'm like, just like that, right? So I was like, as long as it drives and is okay, right? And it won't break down any minute now, right? That's how I'm assuming, I don't want no car. I don't want to buy a car when it's cheap and it'll break down in a week or so, So I think I'm going to get me a car what is not expensive, not too cheap, My meaning about cheap means maybe like 10,000, 10,000 to 5,000, the max, I don't think I would care if it was 2001. I think the latest for me of like the model, it'd have to be at least a 6. As long as it's a 6 to 12, 2000, I'll be fine, right? As long as it drives and as long as it works, right? For a long time, right? But then I was like, my mom had a Jaguar, right? So it lasted like a couple of years, And then I was like, I want to get a cheap car, but then I want that Jaguar, right? I want the design just like the other Jaguar we had before, right? I don't know. They made like words into it, But then I was like, I think I should get a cheap car for the first time, It's not gonna be too cheap, but not too expensive. I don't think it's gonna be like a brand name, unless the brand names are very cheap, It can be like a 2000 and something. Some cars will be cheap, but it's not really cheap because of the brand, It could be an Audi, but it's like 2005 or so. So it'll be much cheaper than a new Audi, Like 2009 or 2012 or something like that. I don't know. So I was like, I think I'm gonna give me a Jaguar. But then I was like, I want that new Jaguar, So I was like, if I get that new Jaguar and I gotta fix it in a week, I'm gonna be hella mad, Because I don't like when people lie to me. Especially when I do go to get me a brand new car or something like that, or a house or anything like that. Tell me the straight ass answer. I mean, like, straight, honest answer, Like, if I buy me a house and I know or I don't know is haunted, tell me straight up, this house is haunted. And if I feel like this shit at that moment and I want to get it because I can handle these ghosts, then tell me. Don't let me just be in the dark and not know that the house is really actually haunted until I hear things moving and stuff like that. I'm freaking out and I can't resell it because people don't want it because it's a haunted house. Tell me straight up, you know, don't lie to my face like, oh, it is haunted, but they're gonna say, no, it's not haunted, you know, it was few people living in there and stuff like that. Tell me the straight on answer, you know. If I ask you, like, why the person, like, didn't want this house anymore, tell me the straight answer. Like, tell me everything about the house. Like, if it's haunted and I feel like I'm really ready for anything haunted in my life to be into the house, tell me, you know, so I can get rid of it and not hear things around, you know. So I'm gonna give me a car, and I don't want the dealership person to lie to me. Like, this car, like, runs smooth, and apparently it don't, you know, and it just breaks down in the middle of the road, right? Tell me the straight answer, you know, like a straight answer, question, or anything I ask you, right? Just tell me straight up, you know. If it's actually like a rundown car, tell me that. Don't let me just buy something what is not like fixable, or like a better car, you know. I hate when people lie to me, but I lie to people, you know. That's kind of weird, right? I lie to people, but I don't like getting lied to, you know.